I 100% understand the struggle of trying to write a very strong thesis statement. Been there, done that. So, in today's video, we are going to address that struggle and we're going to put an end to it. We're going to address how to write a very strong thesis statement. You don't want it to be basic, you want it to be complex and yet very understandable. So, we are going to address how to write that strong thesis statement. If you know anyone that would benefit from this, then you should send them this link. I'm sure they will bless you. And if that sounds like what you yourself are looking for, then definitely keep watching. Welcome back. Before we get into the video proper, I hope you have liked and subscribed to this channel. You don't want to miss out whenever I upload a new video. That's because I give hacks into how to overcome all these academic struggles. Alright, so let's get into this video proper. First, let's start by answering the question, what is a thesis statement? What do they mean by thesis statement? It is simple. Thesis statement is your stance. It is the position you take when you're writing an academic research, an academic paper. It's usually 1 to 2 sentences, but it kind of summarizes where you stand, what your main point is in your thesis or in your article, in your academic research, whatever. So what your main point is in that thesis, it's your thesis statement, and you usually find it at the end of your introduction. 1 to 2 sentences, and once you read that 1 to 2, they're like, okay, this is the thesis statement, and it pretty much summarizes everything. I think that's where the problem is. It's the complexity of or plus the expectation. You have written so much for your introduction, and then you now want me to summarize everything put together into 1 or 2 sentences, and that's my thesis statement. Sometimes it sounds almost impossible, but it's easier than you think. What are the qualities of a very strong thesis statement? 1, it should be understandable. I shouldn't read your thesis statement and have any question like, what are you trying to say? What does this mean? It should be understandable, as clear as possible, and it should be brief. That's number 2. It should be brief, meaning your thesis statement cannot be 6 sentences. Like I said earlier, 1 to 2 sentences, and that is your thesis statement. Yes, it sounds a bit overwhelming, like how do I put everything together? Just wait, okay? So it should be concise, like brief, nothing added, nothing missing, okay? Basically, I think that's what it is. And the last thing is, it has to have a bit of depth to it. It has to have a deeper meaning. That means it can't be basic. It can't be A equals B. It can't be that basic. It is a thesis statement. It has to be complex. So those are the main qualities that your thesis statement must have for it to be a strong one. Now, how do we go about this thesis statement? 1, you need to select your topic, and well, remember there is a video on how to pick a topic, a thesis topic, a perfect thesis topic, if there's anything like that. So make sure to check out that video. But when you have chosen that video, did I say video? When you have chosen the topic, you need to research further about it. Do you understand? You need to research about it. You need to read extensively about your topic. Researching about your topic is not negotiable. That's why I gave all those tips in the video I was referring to earlier. You need to research extensively about it and be able to generate your research question. Now, I want to address some things. Your thesis statement is not your topic. Your thesis statement is not your research question. Your thesis statement is not a fact. Hold on to those 3 points. What you need to do is to draft your first thesis statement. That's after you've selected your topic, you've researched it, you have a research question. Then you need to draft your first thesis statement. That's like your initial thesis statement, the one you would be working with, okay? So, and there are basically 3 things that I think you need for this part. That's, you need a topic, you need a position, and you need an evidence. At this point, I think for you to have a clear understanding of what I am talking about right now, I need to show you, like I need to illustrate, I need to write so you can see. Okay, so come along with me. Like I mentioned earlier, I said you need a topic and a research question. So, for the purpose of this example, the topic is intimate partner violence, and the research question: what are the long term effects of intimate partner violence on male children? So, since we have established those, so now come up with a thesis statement, it is best to first create a working thesis statement. I actually got this strategy from a channel called the Smart Student. So please feel free to check her out. It's also an amazing channel and I think you'll benefit from it. So let's continue. To get into this working thesis statement, you have to follow this particular template, kind of. And what this template does is first relate it to what you think before we even think of creating the perfect thesis statement or the strong thesis statement. Let's relate it to what we think, which was what I was saying earlier about having a position and an evidence. So the first thing is to create a working thesis statement. And in this case, my working thesis statement will be, I will discuss. That means I'm making it personal. I'm relating it to me so that it's simple. Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about anything just yet. Just all you should do is put down what you think this is about. So for my working thesis statement now, I am saying in this paper, I will discuss the fact that intimate partner violence makes young boys who witnessed it feel it is an acceptable behavior, right? Like, it is acceptable to be violent against women. That is my position. That is my stance on this issue. So that's my working thesis statement. Then, so the next question you would ask yourself is why? Like, why do you have that working thesis statement? So that's what I earlier mentioned. If you remember, I said something about evidence. All this I established. So I would now say something like, I believe this because, please bear in mind that this is just a template for you to create like a guide for you to arrive at that strong thesis statement. We're not there yet, but just follow through. So now with this, if you answer the why question for the working thesis statement, will be, I believe this. That means I believe the earlier sentence I mentioned because of the number of young men who witnessed intimate partner violence and later became abusers. That's one reason. So, on to the second reason. These are like the reasons why. So, we're going to join everything together at the end. So, the second reason is I believe this because it is dangerous for young boys to experience such acts during a formative period, right? So another reason I gave for the position is I believe this because of the increased outburst among children who have experienced abuse. So you can write as many reasons as possible, or your I believe, as many as possible. But the main point is now we're going to arrive at the strong thesis statement by putting these sentences together. These sentences guides you. So if I am to come up with a strong thesis statement for this now, because I have my position, I have the reasons, so combine everything together, not word for word, because I already mentioned it has to be 1 to 2 sentences, right? So now, for me to have that strong thesis statement, I think I would come up with something that says intimate partner violence, intimate conditions male children to feel violence against women, that violence against women is an acceptable behavior due to their exposure to gender-based violence during a formative developmental stage. If you look, I think this is pretty much cool, as in this is pretty much a good one, but it's not perfect. It can always change. Bear that in mind. But if you look through it, you see that almost every point from the working thesis statement is here. Do you understand? So the main thing is to bring all the points together and arrive at a
strong thesis statement. I think that's it. It has to be, like I said earlier, it has to be understandable. This is understandable. It has to be complex. This is complex. It is not straightforward. So, like the popular saying, practice makes perfect. You have to lay your hands on this, like you have to try as many as possible. I know looking at it, it might look a bit overwhelming, but it is easier than you think. If you look at this example very well, you see that if you're able to relate it to you and what you understand, it will be easy to come up with that sentence. So try your hands on those examples.
I hope you understand that example that I have just given to you. And if you want more examples, well, you have to click on the link to my Instagram in the description box, or simply just type the handle to that Instagram account in the description box. And I have quite a number of examples on my Instagram page that you can always check. I illustrated them appropriately so that you can always check. So make sure to follow the account and check out the examples that are there, and I'm sure they will be beneficial to you. So I hope now you have a deeper meaning or a deeper understanding of how to structure your thesis statement appropriately. All right. So I hope you have liked this video. I hope you have subscribed, and I hope you have benefited. I think that's the most important thing. I hope I have been able to pass that knowledge to you. Thank you for watching this video this far. It's been marvelous having you watch me. Like I can see you. It's been great having you here. So till you see me again, till you see me again in my next video, make sure you put a smile on somebody's face. Bye.